Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome back to the Trifecta Handgun YouTube channel. Once again, we're going to be talking about the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 in 10mm. If you're new to this channel, we talk mostly about handgun hunting and ways to do it, strategies and all that sort of thing. Before we get to the topic of today's video, I want to just take a moment and give a tribute to a special friend that I lost. A 50-year-long friendship we had suddenly came to an end on February 4th of this year. I lost my friend Troy Schweitzer to a tragedy. He just suddenly died at work. We don't know why yet, but he was seemingly perfectly healthy. He was my hunting buddy. We did projects together. Known each other since we came out of diapers, and the reason he may be important to you guys is he's actually the one who drew up the CAD drawings for the deck and the bracket of the Trifecta Handgun Rest. So Troy Schweitzer has a little part in this rest and every one that I've sold so far, and it's done really well. Last year was absolutely amazing. So anyway, this video is dedicated to you, Troy. I hope you're resting easy up there in heaven. So all shots fired during this video, I will be using our large hybrid hunter handgun rest. It's going to be on this, probably, no exaggeration, 10 to 12 pound tripod. The reason for that is I don't want to introduce variables. If this is the first one you're tuning into, I have two videos before this. The first one I talk about whether this gun is going to make the trifecta of handguns in my hunting rotation. There are several things it has to do. It has to be cheap and easy to reload for. It has to be quick to reload for. And I have to get 50-yard accuracy. Today I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of all that. A normal part of reloading would be precision powder measurement, and you might use something like this. This is a powder trickler, and the way it works, you just fill this up with powder. You would have your scale with your pan on it over here. You would throw your charge a little bit underweight, and then you would use this to trickle it up to the precise measurement. And I would use this for everything else. My 44 Magnum, my 7mm 08, and anything else I was going to reload, but I don't want to use it for this gun. The reason is this gun holds 15 rounds in the magazine. If I were to slowly trickle up all these rounds and get them just perfect, it would take me forever. So this is a time-consuming part of reloading that I'm trying to eliminate. So let me show you a little experiment that I performed. These two powders I've had sitting around for several years. You can see the price tag on that. $21 for a pound. Wouldn't you love to have that back? I bought these for my 44 Magnum, just as different loads to try to find an accuracy group. I didn't end up using these for very long, so I've had them sitting around. I was lucky enough to get one of the highly recommended powders for the 10mm, which is this Accurate number 9. There's four powders that I've seen over and over again. You have Accurate number 9, Blue Dot, 800X, and Long Shot. I see those over and over again as recommended powders. I was lucky enough to get an email from a supplier online who said he had some, and I went ahead and grabbed it. So part of being fast and easy to reload for is finding powders that meter very well through your powder measure. I want you to take a look at these three powders. You can see the Accurate number 9 here is very, very small, very small flakes or whatever they are. I'm not sure what type of powder it is. But look in that white part, how small that powder is. Let's see if I can get it to focus a little closer. Then we come over here to the Unique. It's definitely a flake powder, very thin, but wider flakes. And then the 2400, I believe that is a very small flake powder. I'm not certain about that, but again, look at the white area there, and you can see just how small that is. So let me show you a little experiment that I did. So on your screen here, you're going to see a bunch of numbers. And what I did, these are the exact same powders I just got done talking about, accurate number 9, unique, and 2400. Let me make a few excuses here before we talk about these specific numbers. I did not calibrate my scale prior to dropping these powder charges. All I did was load up my powder measure with powder and start going and weighing, no trickle charging, anything like that. Okay, all these were just doing things as lazy or as fast as I possibly could just to see if it made a difference. So I did not calibrate my scale. It's a $35 scale. It's not a $300 scale, but it's fairly accurate. I've had this for several years. I think it's pretty accurate. I also did not let my scale warm up for an extended time before I started using it, and I think that is pretty important. Just from other type of work I've done outside of the reloading industry, if you have a very precise scale, you pretty much always leave it plugged in. I use a Hornady lock and load powder measure, and it has two inserts that you can get for it. It has a large insert, which is meant more for like bottleneck cartridges, and it has a small metering insert. I think it goes from like 7 to 15 grains or something like that, 17 grains. I'll notate that on the screen. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a smaller insert. I think that may give us more accuracy here, but I wanted to experiment to see if that's something I would have to buy. It's like $45 plus, of course, shipping to get it to come. So if I don't have to buy that, I won't buy that. So I just loaded up my powder measure and just threw these charges and weighed all of them. And here's what I got. So my accurate number 9, I got 12 throws that were 12.1 grains, 3 throws that were 12.2 grains, and 10 throws that were 12.3 grains. So a 0.3 of a grain spread there. The unique, I expected not to do as well, but it was actually pretty consistent as we got going here. Most of these down at the bottom were 6.7 or 6.6. So I guess unique for the most part is pretty reliable. But up here at the top, I got some 6.5, 6.4, and then a 6.9. Then you come down here and I got a 6.8. And everything else was 6.6 or 6.7. So I thought actually unique did pretty good. What really caught my attention was how it really cleaned up here toward the end. Like maybe my powder scale is warming up and things are getting a little bit more consistent. Let's go to 2400. This is just a slightly larger granule than the accurate number 9. And you can see everything here pretty much was either 11 or 11.1, except for 2 charges that were 11.2. That's right here and right here. So very, very consistent, this 2400. So just kind of take a note of that. Let's go right to the targets and let's see what happened. Before I do any kind of accuracy testing, I always want to warm up myself and warm up the gun. So this is with factory ammo, and it's the usual terrible results here. Just flyers, everything's all over the place. So if you're thinking about finding accuracy with some cheap factory ammo, this happened to be Blazer, but all the Full Metal Jacket stuff is probably not that great. And it wasn't cheap. It was $32 for 50. So I got all my load information off of the Hodgdon website. Please don't use anything I discuss here as something that you should necessarily use in your gun. Please look at real data either in a reloading manual or from a reliable online source. Not what I say here, because I may make a mistake. So this is with the accurate number 9, and this is my first 2 shots ever with this powder. Not super great, right? But then the next 3 were kind of an inch and a quarter sort of group here. So that's pretty impressive if you ask me. And that's 13.1 grains of accurate number 9. This may have caught your attention in the thumbnail. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. When I walked up to this target, I was on cloud 9. There's actually 4 shots in that little sub 1-inch group there. And then if you want to call that last one a flyer. So that was pretty amazing. That's 13.3 grains of accurate number 9 in this polymer handgun. So a couple questions, I guess. Is this actually a repeatable thing? We'll find out. I'm going to, of course, reload this same powder charge, be very precise about it to see if I can actually do something close to this again. If I can, to me, that's pretty amazing in a gun like this. Let's take a look at the last group of the day. So this is 13.5 grains of accurate number 9, and that is the top of the load chart. I worked up to this, obviously. I did not see any pressure signs at all. I know with semi-auto pistols, sometimes it's hard to see like deformed primer pockets or cratering or anything like that. But I did not see anything, and everything went smoothly as far as feeding goes. Not super accurate, just like the first charge, but let's take a look at a few things here. Aside from these two, I got a sub 1-inch group at 25 yards, and I think that's pretty good. So let's kind of compare all 3 targets. So there are several ways you can look at this, and what I want to do is I want to take all these flyers out and just kind of ignore them for a second and look at the 3-shot groups in each of these, and in this case a 4-shot group, that did well. You can see it kind of moved around a little bit. They're both off to the left in the case of these two, but this one, you know, they're right in there, but a little bit more centered up. But the point is they all landed slightly different on the target, even though they're good groups. So my question is it the powder charge or is it something I did? I'm leaning towards something I did, because every time I went to get my target, I came back, I had to sit down in my chair. I may have realigned myself somewhat differently, grabbed the gun differently. I don't know. Going back to our powder throwing experiment, we know with the accurate number 9, we were off 0.3 of a grain. There's 0.3 of a grain variable between all of these charges here, between 12.1 and 12.3 grains. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my best target, which is 13.3. I'm going to try to get all my charges to land mostly on that number. So I'm going to once again go through. I'll probably actually calibrate my scale this time, let it warm up. So let's play overrated or underrated. Is hand loading your ammo overrated or underrated? It doesn't have to be for the 10mm, it could be for anything else. Do you guys hunt with hand loaded ammo? Do you think it's overrated or underrated? You can simply answer in the comments below, or you can say why, either way. So what do you guys think of this little guy so far? I am super impressed. I think we're definitely on the right path. Whether this gun makes the team or not, I don't know. There's a lot of things left, or at least a few things left that we have to go through. I'm not going to be able to use a rest like this when I actually take this gun out to hunt with. So like I said in the beginning, I don't want to introduce variables, so I'm just taking a super steady rest that I have, the Trifecta Hybrid Hunter with a heavy tripod, and just getting the very best numbers I can with the gun. And then we're going to focus on something that I can actually hunt with. That is this Trifecta Signature Camo Rest with a monopod. It's a very lightweight way of going. It's going to be great for running and gunning or even out of a tree stand. So all those are future videos that are going to be coming up soon with this gun. I hope you guys will right now take a second to hit that subscribe button below. I think my camera's just a little off. I hope you guys will take a second to, you know what to do, hit that subscribe button down there. Hit the bell to be notified when all future videos are posted, and hit the like button. All those things will help the algorithm and help more people see this video and others like it from the Trifecta Handgun YouTube channel. Now let's get back to the numbers again. 13.3 grains seems to be the number we want to strive for. So in my next video, I'm going to be very closely trickling 13.3. I want to see if I can repeat that number, or at least get something close. I don't expect to get 4 and pretty much in that same little half-inch or three-quarter-inch group again. But if I can get something close to that, I also want to very closely trickle charge 1/10 of a grain higher and 1/10 of a grain lower than 13.3. So we're going to have 13.2 and 13.4 grain charges to see what happens with our group. So all that's going to come up on the next video. I hope you guys will follow along. We have a lot of things left. And I'm also going to get back to the 44 Magnum and the 7mm 08 in future videos this spring and summer. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.